really important today. During the pandemic, the suicide rate has increased by 51%. These statistics are shocking, but what really touches us are personal stories. Cathy has a personal story that she is willing to share with all of us here today.
I want to start with the story of my friendship with Sophie Flynn. On May 2nd, 2021, Sophie Flynn passed away due to suicide. Not even 6 months ago was I attending her funeral, and I'm still trying to process all the thoughts and emotions that came from it. This is the first time I've spoken out about this outside of friends and family, and it is because I want to spread awareness about all the devastation and loss that people experience every day because of suicide.
As the statistics show the rising number of suicide, we wonder, what's driving all of this? Why are young people so depressed? Without realizing it, social media gets into the subconscious mind and only ends with endless comparison of feeling like you're not good enough. There are so many standards of how you need to look or act, creating many self-image problems. A study showed that 75% of what you see on social media is fake or have been manipulated. Other people portray themselves as perfect while you compare yourself with something completely unrealistic. Young people are bombarded with messages that erode their sense of self-worth, Dr. Nagel says, telling them that they're not good looking enough, popular enough, smart enough, or rich enough.
For Sophie, she always struggled with so many self-image problems. She would constantly say she wasn't pretty enough, or she would compare herself to other people's all the time. And I think this comes back to the unrealistic standards on social media, because if you see every day of how you need to look like, how you need to act like, you're just going to end with endless comparison of how you need to be like, and that's super unhealthy, especially during the pandemic.
Looking back at the big picture of statistics, because of the pandemic, many people turned to social media in hopes of connecting with others online and being less lonely. However, social media actually increases your feelings of isolation rather than decreasing it. A study from the University of Pennsylvania found that high usages of social media affected 93% of students' mental health negatively, making them feel even more isolated than before.
For Sophie, she always struggled with FOMO because of her anxiety, and right before she passed, she was stuck in another country because of the COVID pandemic. And because of this, she saw on social media all of her friends together, what she was missing out on, and that drove her mental health to a really bad place. So I think everyone from time to time needs to take breaks from social media because it's really toxic for your mental health.
This is Audrey, and she lost her little sister to suicide. After her sister passed, she developed severe anxiety and depression.
Similar to my experience, after Sophie passed away, I struggled a lot with my mental health, and so did many other people who experienced the loss. So when you lose someone close to you to suicide, you are like basically getting their mental illnesses, and their mental illnesses become contagious, and it's hard not to fall down the same trap that they did. Based off of my own experience, here are some solutions that we can take to help prevent these suicide. So firstly, be there to check up on your friends always. No matter how happy they seem, no matter how fine they seem, you always need to check up on them to make sure that they get the support and love that they need. And secondly, educate yourselves on the signs of self-harm behavior. And if you do see this, get them the help that they need. For Sophie, she struggled a lot with self-harm, and she never got the help that she needed. And at the end of the day, your friends might be mad at you for getting them help, but in the big picture, you're actually helping them and maybe even saving their lives.
Before the pandemic, the suicide rate was around 38 suicides per day. However, in the pandemic, it has now risen to 132 suicides per day.
Every time the number goes up, it's not just a number, but one more life lost. So this, as the Christmas is coming up, I want everyone to make sure that you yourself are okay, but also check in on your friends and family to make sure that they are getting the support that they need.
Thank you.